I just really want to go deep on poor Sarah's death that day going into shooting her final moments. How were you feeling going into the day? Let's start with that.
I was incredibly stressed. I think, it's an iconic moment. I have cried at that moment myself prior to even in any way being involved in the show. So I think I was very aware of how important it was to kind of execute it appropriately. Initially, I was really overthinking. I was trying to plan things out and just, I was just really getting in my head about it. And then I kind of was literally the morning of, I took this kind of like, nope, I'm just not even gonna let that happen. So I kind of just like threw everything out the window. And then tried to kind of calm myself down. A lot of like listening to music, I think, on like the car to and from set. I was just like very stuck in.
Was there like a song in particular that you remember that comes to mind?
Okay, I had never heard this song before this, and I don't know why. I think it's called 8 by Billie Eilish, like the number 8. And I never listened to this song before, but in the beginning of the song, she has like a kid's voice.
Wait a minute. Letting me finish.
To me, it just like made me think of like Sarah being very young, and like in the moment, like her final moments, how kind of like young she is. I don't know why, but that was very prevalent to me in like the final kind of like moments before we filmed.
You're right. Like she's so capable and so self-assured, and you get the feeling that she takes care of herself a lot, right? So she does seem so different in those final moments.
Yeah, like this kind of like self-assured young girl. And then I think in those kind of final moments is when you really see her leaning on people closest to her, and you really see her leaning on her dad. And I think seeing that kind of makes it even more depressing, just because it's like one of the first times where you truly see her kind of reduced down to what she is, which is just a really young girl.
Definitely. Did you and Pedro talk at all or rehearse at all, or was it more kind of just keeping it for the actual shooting?
That scene specifically, I don't think we spoke about it. I think I mentioned one time something about watching it, and he was like, don't watch it, it's gonna freak you out. As in like watching the game version of it, because I'd already seen it like way before anything to do with filming. But he was like, as in like coming up to filming, he was like, do not watch it, it's gonna really freak you out, like don't do it. And I was just like, I take his word as the gospel, so I was like, okay, I'm not watching.
Talk to me about when you guys are like in the car and like stuff is going down. I mean, like that, and that obviously like that wasn't all shot in one day. So like maintaining that level of panic and confusion over a few days, I can't imagine how wearing that must have been.
Less so with the car, more so with death-wise. It's like the next morning I remember waking up and just feeling like awful. And I remember going out to lunch with Pedro the next day, like dinner, and we were both just kind of like in this kind of like weird like state. Your brain knows that you're faking it, but your body doesn't know. So you just kind of wake up and you feel this kind of like incredible weight. And so that one, I was thinking like, if I had to film anything, thank God I had like, I think it was a day off or 2 days off after that, because if I had to film the next day, I would have just been a mess, like just awful. I think with the car stuff, it was easier to maintain the stress because it was genuinely so interesting and incredible, everything that was happening around us. So it was kind of, you didn't need to fake it too much because it's all right there. Like all the material that you need is in front of you. So you have to see it one time through, and any time where it's like, oh my God, you're genuinely watching like, it's insane.